Herkese merhabalar, iyi akşamlar dileriz. British Council IELTS Hazırlık Eğitimimize, online hazırlık eğitimimize hoş geldiniz. Ben İmran Mehmet, British Education Bureau eğitim uzmanı olarak bugün sizlerle British Council eğitim uzmanımız, eğitmenimiz Hazan Hayaloğlu ile birlikte IELTS hakkında size detaylı bilgiler aktarıyor olacağız hazırlık süreciyle ilgili ve soru tipleri gibi detaylarla ilgili olarak bilgiler aktarıyor olacağız. Ben sözü Hazan Hoca'ya bırakmadan önce çok kısa British Education Bureau'dan bahsetmek isterim sizlere. Biz British Education Bureau, BEB olarak British Council'ın Türkiye'deki resmi kayıt merkeziyiz. Temsil ettiğimiz üniversiteler bulunmakta, Birleşik Krallık özelinde ve bu üniversitelerin Türkiye'deki tanıtım faaliyetlerini gerçekleştiriyoruz. Üniversitelerin Türkiye'deki organizasyonlarını yapan kurumuz aslında. 2002 yılında Oxford'da kurulduk. İngiliz ve Türk kuruculara sahip bir yapımız mevcuttur. 20 yıldır da İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir'deki ofislerimizde öğrencilerimize hizmet sağlıyoruz. Uzmanlık alanımız tamamen Birleşik Krallık eğitim sistemidir. Üniversitelerin giriş şartları, başvuru süreçleri ve vize aşaması gibi tüm noktalarda öğrencilerimize destek sağlıyoruz. Tüm danışmanlık birimimiz Birleşik Krallık eğitim sistemine vakıf, bu konuda sürekli olarak eğitimler alan bir kadrodan oluşmaktadır. Birleşik Krallık'ta İngiltere, İskoçya, Galler, Kuzey İrlanda'da toplam 130 tane devlet üniversitesi bulunmaktadır. Biz İLGili olarak bu 130 üniversitenin 90'ının Türkiye'deki resmi temsilcisiyiz. Temsil ettiğimiz üniversitelerin tüm faaliyetleri, tüm danışmanlık hizmeti kapsamında ücretsiz hizmetimiz öğrencilerimiz için mevcuttur. Bizleri aslında internet sitemizden, Instagram ve Facebook üzerinden takip edebilirsiniz bu şekilde. Aynı zamanda İstanbul, Ankara, İzmir ve Lefkoşa'daki ofislerimizde de bu numaralardan ulaşabilirsiniz. Çok teşekkürler Hazan Hocam. Size verebilirim sözü.
Hello, everyone. How are you today? Welcome to British Council's online seminar, let's say. Today we'll be talking about IELTS in general, what IELTS is, why do we need to take it? And we have 4 sections, as you know, reading, speaking, listening, and writing. We'll be talking about each section, and I'll be giving you some tips and strategies to help you achieve the score you desire. So let me share my screen with you. Can you see it?
Yes, we can.
Yes, great. Okay. So during the seminar, please write down your questions in the chat box. And after each section, we will have a Q&A session. I'll be answering your questions. So let's make this as interactive as possible so that you can benefit from it better. So what is IELTS? As you know, IELTS stands for the International English Language Testing System, and it's proudly co-owned by 3 institutions, including British Council. And why do we need to take the IELTS? Yeah, IELTS is the test which assesses your language abilities. So if you want to study abroad or work abroad, if you want to immigrate abroad, IELTS is the test you need, okay, to prove your level of English. Let's talk about the recognition. As you know, IELTS is the most recognized test, the most popular test, international test in the world. Let's make this interactive. Can you guess how many institutions accept the IELTS score? You can write in the chat box if you have any guesses. 600, up. Up, up, up, up. Up, not 5,000. Yes? Okay, İdil, yes. İdil is the closest one. Around 11,000 organizations receive IELTS. They recognize IELTS. Yes, great. This includes, as you know, in universities, yeah, and also government and some companies. Like if you have this score, you can get a good salary if you're working for some companies. This is also, I think, good information to consider. So let's talk about the test format. Our test format is based on 4 key skills: reading, speaking, listening, and writing. IELTS is an international test. Yeah, some people think it's a British test because it's designed by Cambridge University, but it's not. All accents are welcome, and you will hear different, not only British accent, but also American, Australian, Scottish. Okay, so there is no cultural or linguistic bias. One advantage of our test is that the speaking test is done face-to-face. So you sit with the examiner. Yeah, so this is as close to a real situation as a test can get. We have 2 versions, paper-based and computer-delivered one. The content, the criteria, grading, everything is the same. The only difference is that you answer the questions on the screen with the computer-delivered one. And maybe there are some advantages of the computer one, like you receive the results sooner, okay? And if you are more familiar with using computers, maybe you should opt for that. But paper-based one is the classic one. Today I'll be giving, if we have time, I'll be giving more information about computer-delivered one. But if not, you can always visit takeielts.org. Okay, you can see tutorials. It's going to be very, very helpful for you because you can see what the test looks like, where the buttons are. So please take this or watch these tutorials, okay, if you're taking the computer-delivered one. So I think there's no need to talk about the reliability. It's the most reliable test. The validity, do you have any idea? How long is it valid? Let's see, let's test your knowledge. You can write in the chat box. How long is IELTS valid? Yes, Sevil is right. Sevil is right. 2 years, 2 years. But in Turkey, I heard that some universities also accept it for 3 years. So we always recommend the test takers to check with the receiving organization, all right? Always check the requirements for IELTS because it can vary, yeah, from university to university. Some universities accept 7, or they say overall score could be 6.5, but writing must be 7. So they have different requirements. So please check. Or some of them require UKVI rather than the academic one. So please do check, okay? Our test versions are unique and they go through a long process of test production. So we also have very strict measures before, during, and after the test. We have frequent sessions held worldwide. You can always visit British Council's website. You can see the sessions listed and registered online. Yes, like I said, you receive your results in 13 days for paper-based one, and it takes shorter for computer-delivered one. We also have a list of preparation materials if you want to do self-study. I will be sharing with you a list of them. You can take a screenshot if you like. So which IELTS test is best for me? Yes, if you want to study at a university, you need to take the academic one. So I think all of you, almost all of you, let's see, you can raise your hand actually. How many of you are taking the academic one? You can raise your hand if you know Wow. Almost all, I would say. Well, I should have asked the general training one first, maybe. Okay. How about general training? Let me see your hands. General training. Not so many, yes, but I'll be giving you some information also about the general training one, don't worry. So general training is the one you need for immigration or to work abroad, and the academic one is the one you need to study at a university, okay? Like I said, always check with the receiving organization about which test you need to take. Let's talk about the test format. Listening is the same in both versions, in both tests. It takes about 30 minutes. There are 4 sections and 40 questions. Reading takes about 60 minutes. There will be 3 sections and 40 items. The reading texts are slightly different, okay, in academic and the general training one. In the academic reading, we have longer texts, and they are from scientific journals, more academic content, let's say. But for the general training one, it's more about life in another country. So you might see notices, yeah, you might see brochures, and the texts are shorter, okay? For the writing, again, we have 60 minutes and there are 2 tasks. In the academic writing, for the first task, you describe a chart, okay? But with the general training writing, you write a letter, right? Letter of invitation, letter of complaint, application, apology, yeah? But task 2 is an essay, and it's the same in both tests. Speaking takes about 11 to 14 minutes, and it is done face-to-face, yeah? It could be on the same day. It depends on how you schedule it. Yeah, you need to talk to the British Council office for that. The total test time is 2 hours, 44 minutes. And if you are taking the paper-based one, you will be given 10 minutes extra time, okay, to transfer your answers. This is only for listening, okay, not for reading. So be careful. If you're taking the computer-delivered one, you don't need to worry about it. You're not going to be receiving any extra time. You just have 2 minutes to check your answers. Okay, so we use a 9-band scale to assess your grades. So let me ask you another quick survey question. What is the score you are trying to achieve? You can write in the chat box. What is your target score? 7, 8. 8, 9. Okay, Tina. The higher, the better, of course. It increases your chances of admission. So 6.6, 6.5 is the score you need if you want to be exempt, like if you want to study at university in Turkey, yeah, they usually require about 6 and 7. But like I said, depending on the university, the score varies. So a good university might ask for 7 and higher, and the higher, the better, right? Yes. This is a copy of the test report form that you are sent. You will receive 5 electronic copies. If you need more copies, you can always contact British Council, no worries. So it's really, really important to understand for each section what is expected from you, yeah, to understand the criteria. Because as you know, even native speakers cannot score 9, as you know. So why is that? Maybe they don't know the criteria. They don't know what they're expected to do, okay? So before we move on, let me ask you another question. I will go one by one. Let's see your hands, okay? Which test section is the most difficult one for you? Okay, who says reading? If it's reading, raise your hand. If it's reading, we have Jaylin. Oh, Jaylin lowered her hand. Rabia, Defne. 2 people out of 44. Okay. How about listening? Rabia can lower her hand. What about listening? Faruk. Azize. Oh, only 2. Okay. How about speaking? Faruk, Sevil, İdil, Yusuf. 4. Okay. So I'm expecting a lot of votes for writing. Am I right? How about writing? Writing. Yes, this is what I expected. Yeah. So I'll try to keep the other sections short. I think we need to focus on writing. Yeah. All right. So until now, do you have any questions? Because we're going to start talking about the sections. Do you have any questions? Yes, Faruk has a problem with writing. I'll be explaining writing section, no worries. No questions about the format or grading, band scores. You get a separate score, right, for each section, and then these scores are averaged, okay? For example, you receive 6 from reading, 6 from writing, and 6.5 from speaking, and 6.5 from listening. What is your score, overall score? Any ideas? 6, 6, 6.5, 6.5. Yes, again 6.5, because it is always rounded up. Yeah, normally it's 6.25, but it is rounded up. So you receive an overall score of 6.5, which is great, isn't it? Okay. So are you ready? Yes, Faruk listed his scores. Thank you, Faruk. Yes. Faruk, you need to study. So let's start with the speaking. Let's talk about the general information. Like I said, it takes about 11 to 14 minutes, yeah? And you sit with the examiner. Your speech will be recorded, okay? So don't panic. This is for assessment purposes, or if you want to be reassessed later on, they will use this recording, okay? So don't panic, just relax. Examiner is focusing on your abilities, not your shortcomings, okay? They're more thinking of like the positive aspect of your speech, okay? And let's talk about the criteria. It's really, really important, okay? Firstly, we have fluency and coherence, which means your speech must flow, yeah? Don't pause too much. That's going to lower your fluency score. And be natural, okay? Don't try to speed. Don't try to speak fast, okay? Because if you speak fast, you are more likely to make mistakes. So speak at a natural speed. If you need some time to think, don't go, this is very bad, okay? So instead, you need some fillers. You can say, well, that's a very good question. Let me think about it, okay? Don't stop speaking for fluency. And coherence means your speech must be on topic, okay? You need to stay on topic and you need to organize your speech, especially for the second part. Linked, yeah? Your sentences must be linked. Lexical resource is your vocabulary range. So try to use good words, okay? Less common vocabulary if you want to score 8 or 9. Some good collocations you need. If I were you, I wouldn't use so many idioms, okay? Because idioms may not sound natural sometimes. So if you are really capable of using this idiom effectively, you can use it. But don't be adventurous, okay? Stick to the words that you know, and especially the ones that you can pronounce, because pronunciation is another criteria, okay? So use good words, good sophisticated words. For example, if you're talking about a film, let me ask you, what kind of vocabulary can you use if you're talking about a film? Can you say, it's a good film, it was a good film, it was exciting? Basic vocabulary, yes, entertaining, very good. It was an entertaining movie, yes. You can mention related vocabulary, like the plot, cast, yeah, or it is set in, driven, okay. Breathtaking scenes, touching, So use the related vocabulary. If you're talking about a museum, again, you need to know exhibition, or you need to know gallery, sculpture. So use good vocabulary. For grammatical range, of course, we expect accuracy. Your sentences must be error-free as possible. But the range means use complex structures, not simple sentences, okay? Use long sentences. Use if clauses, yeah? You can use conjunctions, transitional words, compare, contrast, while, whereas, yeah? For pronunciation, of course, you need to pronounce the words correctly. You can keep your accent as long as it is comprehensible, no problem, yeah? You don't get a score for accent, but you get a score for pronunciation. And then these 4 marks are averaged. All right. You can watch the videos on the internet. On YouTube, you can watch, you can write British Council speaking test, official, yeah, the official ones. And you can see different bands. And you can compare yourself. Am I speaking like 8 or am I speaking like 7? Okay. So in part 1, what's going on in part 1? Yes, you introduce yourself, you sit, there's identity check, yes. And then the examiner asks you easy questions, okay, about familiar topics. For example, where do you live? It's a very easy question, right? Where do you live? But what is the response that we are looking for? Any volunteers to write in chat box? If the examiner asks you, where do you live? Can you just say Beşiktaş? I live in Beşiktaş, like that? Any ideas? You can write in the chat box. Yes, full sentence. You need full sentences, extended, yeah. Also give background information. For example, I live in Beşiktaş, but how long? Yeah, how long have I lived here? Why do I live here? So you can use because in your sentence. You can use although in your sentence. Yeah. Any volunteers to write something? What is a perfect response for where do you live? Currently, right? Currently, I live in Beşiktaş because my workplace is very near. Therefore, it's very convenient for me to live in Beşiktaş. It has a central location, blah, blah, blah. Okay? Give 2-3 sentences and long sentences. So don't think, oh, the question is very easy, so I can give one word answer. No. Give full sentences, extended responses. All right? So part 1 is very easy. You will understand every question. No worries. It's about maybe your hometown, your school, your friends, your studies. Yeah. In part 2, you are given a card. Okay. On the card, there's a question and there are some points to cover. You will have 1 minute to think, and then you will be giving 1 to 2 minutes speech uninterrupted. Okay, this part is not interactive. This part is uninterrupted. You need to practice. Okay, maybe you can record your voice if you're doing self-study. You can find all the topics on the internet. You can do a recording and listen to yourself. I should pronounce this word better. Maybe you don't like your word choice. Maybe your grammar has problems. So you can practice on your own. Make a better speech each time you record. Okay? One challenge here is that you may not be familiar about the topic. Yeah? For example, I don't like sports. Yeah? And the question is about describe a sports event that you attended. I have no idea. Okay, what am I going to do? Any ideas? Can I just say, I've never been to a sports event. I can't answer this question. No. What do we need to do? Improvise. Yes, improvise. Create a story. It doesn't have to be true. It's not a crime. Okay, we are just checking your language abilities. Okay, there is no right or wrong answer. You can talk about anything as long as you keep speaking. Maybe you don't have an experience, but you've heard from your friend, or maybe you watched in a movie. Okay, you cannot change the card, by the way. So you talk about the points on the card. You can cover them if you want, but you don't get minus points if you don't cover all the points, okay? But try. I think you can refer to them and it's going to make your speech more coherent and more comprehensive, yeah? And you can add other points. Say, while you're speaking, maybe you run out of ideas, so you can talk about other points. Use this 1 minute really carefully, okay? For example, it's about past experience, about a museum visit or something. Remind yourself, oh, past tense, I should be using past tense, yeah? Also take a note of your vocabulary, the vocabulary that you need to use, yeah? Do not write full sentences, okay? Just bullet points to remind you. That 1 minute is very important. In part 3, which is a discussion, the difference between part 2 and part 3 is that this is going to be more about your opinions, okay? Part 2, for instance, is about describe your best friend, okay? Your experience. But in part 3, you will be asked your idea about friendship, maybe. For example, do you think friendships can last forever? Yeah. So here you need to generate some opinions, maybe analyze an issue, yeah, or speculate. You might need to speculate about the future. So we need different grammar, maybe like might or likely, yeah. So take a look at the previous questions so you will have an idea. Again, here you might not have an opinion, yeah, because maybe some of you are very young. So maybe you can change your perspective. For example, it's about sports or economy. Maybe you don't know anything about economy. Imagine yourself from a different position. Like you can say, if I were an unemployed person, I would do this. Or if I were an employer, okay? So try to change your perspective to get more ideas. Okay. So you need to communicate your opinions, speak at length, organize your ideas, expressing and justifying your opinions, analyzing, discussing, speculating about issues. This is an example from part 1. As you see, the questions are very easy, but you need to give long answers. Don't wait for the examiner to ask you why each time, because they will, okay? So instead of waiting for them, you explain why. This is part 2. And part 3. And don't worry if the examiner stops you, it's okay. Sometimes they interrupt you. So relaxing is really important. Maybe you can practice English before the speaking test with your friends, yeah? Or I always recommend my students to speak or listen or watch only in English 24 hours before the test. Yeah, I think it helps a lot. Yes, speaking clearly, just concentrate on communicating. You will be talking about yourself. So you need to be prepared. Take a look at the previous questions, okay? And answer the question as fully as possible. Don't talk too fast. Don't use your first language. It happens, like yani, şey, don't use them. Mistakes are fine. You can correct yourself. For example, you made a tense mistake. Correct yourself. No problem, okay? Do not memorize anything, because if you memorize, the examiner will detect, okay? So you don't need to. Just be natural. And occasional hesitations are fine, but if you want to get 8 or 9, please don't stop speaking. Don't stop. If you can't remember a word, just describe it, okay? For example, what is your favorite dessert? You can say sütlaç, what is sütlaç, yeah? Instead, just say it's a traditional milk dessert. Explain the word that you don't know. And yes, don't worry if the examiner interrupts you, that happens. So to improve your speaking, you can do recordings, okay? It's really, really helpful. And listen a lot to improve your pronunciation. Now we have Netflix, we have all those movie channels, yeah? You can always copy the speakers, improve your pronunciation. Accent doesn't matter. For clarification questions, if you don't understand the question, always ask, okay? To be on the safe side, you can say, what did you mean by? Or could you please clarify? You can say, can you please repeat that? Okay. Any questions about speaking? Yes? No questions? Okay. because I explained everything. Maybe. So listening. Listening is easy, right? Most test takers receive the highest score in the listening section because unfortunately, our education system is based on lectures, yeah, like the teacher speaking all the time, and students are always listening to something. So I'll keep this short. We'll just talk about some tips. 30 minutes, which means you don't need to worry about time management. Yeah, you just need to follow the recording. The recording tells you what to do, okay? And there will be 4 sections with 10 questions each. And each section is played only once. You don't need to take notes, yeah? You don't need to take notes, but you need keywords. We will talk about that. And you will hear a range of accents. So if you're not familiar with British accent, maybe it's time you start watching some British TV series. Yeah. And you will have 10 minutes extra time given to you to transfer your answers. Yeah. And pencil only. So here, of course, you must listen to instructions carefully. If the recording says, read questions from 1 to 5, don't read 10 questions, just read the first 5, okay? And also the written instructions you need to follow. You can use one word only. If it says one word, you just need to put one word or number, okay? Read the written instructions and listen to instructions carefully. I think there will be no problem with hearing. We have headphones now in most locations, even if it's paper-based. With Computer One, of course, you also get headphones. So you will have time given to you before the recording starts, yeah? So you need to use that time carefully. Read the question. Imagine what kind of setting is this? Who is speaking? Yeah. What am I supposed to do? Try to guess. Yeah. And underline the keywords and think about the synonyms. For example, it says rich, but maybe you will hear wealthy in the text, in the recording. So when you're underlining the keywords, very, very important, because those are the words that are going to help you to catch the answer. For example, I'm working on question 20. And in 21, there's a question about Nobel Prize. Okay? So if I have 22 in my head, Nobel Prize, that means when I hear it, you understand, I missed 21. Don't wait too long for the answer, okay? Always imagine the next keyword. What is next? Anticipate, okay? And if there's a blank, you need to guess what type of answer is needed. Like, is it a price? Is it a measurement? Yeah. Is it a name? Is it an address? Or noun, adjective, adverb? Think about, especially if it's not filling. Yeah. And no penalties for incorrect answers, which means do not leave any answers blank. Okay. You might get lucky. You never know. Spelling is important. If you misspell, you lose the whole score, unfortunately, okay? Make sure you have good spelling. For capitalization, you can write all your answers in capitals, okay? So just to be on the safe side, if you don't want to take a risk, write all your answers, all 40 questions, 40 answers in capital letters, okay? This is a good tip, I think. In section 1, there will be a conversation between 2 people. maybe booking a hotel room, maybe signing up for a class, maybe it's a job interview, okay? Usually not filling. And you hear, you write down what you hear, okay? Not your production. There is no production. You just write what you hear, okay? And in section 2, it's a monologue. Somebody's giving you information about a local facility. Okay, for example, a museum, yeah, for example, a hotel, a school, like the admission fee, the general rules, okay? So mostly note filling style. For 3, it's always about education, okay? So if you want to be prepared for IELTS test, learn all the vocabulary related to education. Okay, like what is an assignment? What is a curriculum? Okay, things like that. And questions get harder as you progress. Section 1 is the easiest, and section 4 is the most difficult one. Okay, it's a monologue on an academic subject. Here, you may not know the subject, but you don't need to worry because you don't have to. You don't have to know the subject, okay? So you just focus on your keywords, just focus on your task. You don't need to understand everything. We have lots of question types, so make sure you get yourself acquainted with all of these types through practice tests, okay? You can work on practice tests. Like Cambridge has, I'll show you. Can you see? There's a whole set of Cambridge practice tests. These are all previous exams. Or you can go on YouTube. On YouTube, just type IELTS listening. You will find many videos. Okay. Any questions about listening? For multiple choice, okay. For example, in the multiple choice, there are 3 options, like how long does it take, blah, blah, blah. And it says 3 days, 6 days, 5 days, okay? You will hear all of them, but you need to understand which one is which one. Maybe 5 days for trekking or 6 days for something else. So you hear all the options. You need to be careful. And sometimes the speaker changes their answer. They say, for example, let's meet at 5 o'clock, and the other speaker says, oh, wait, I need to, I have a dentist appointment, so can we make it at 6 instead? So what time are they going to meet? At 6. Okay, so be careful with distractors or tracks. Yes, chronological. There's no need for note-taking. You just have your keywords, get ready to hear it. Everything is in the recording. Questions appear in order here. Okay? Are you ready to move on? Reading. Reading is something that we are used to, you know, all our academic guys there. But in IELTS reading, you need to read very, very long texts, okay? Let's guess, how many words altogether do you need to read? Any guesses? Any guesses about how long? 5,000, no. That's too much. More than 2,000. Around 2,500, 2,750. Yeah. So, can we read everything, you think, within that time? We have 1 hour, 20 minutes for each reading part, yeah? we don't have time to read the texts thoroughly. So we need some reading strategies. What are those strategies, we think? Any ideas? Yes, the relevant part, but I always recommend skimming, okay? When you skim, you know what each paragraph is about. Read the first sentence of each paragraph to have an idea, okay? It's gonna take you maybe 1 minute, not too long, 1 or 2 minutes. And then read the questions. Read the questions and underline the keywords, okay? So you can go back to the text, find the related part, and this time read for specific purpose, like read for detail. And be careful with negatives, so be careful with, you need to be very familiar with paraphrasing. Paraphrasing is really, really important. Okay, for example, he says, he was the sole winner of the prize. And in the text, it says, he won the prize jointly. So you know that this is false. You need to know synonyms, antonyms, yeah? Yes, you will have the text. If you're taking the computer delivered one, yes, you will see. You can even copy paste, like if it's not filling one. Yeah. So paraphrasing, work on paraphrasing, synonyms, antonyms. Okay. So, for example, with some question types, matching headings, yeah, maybe you need to read 30% of the whole text, sometimes 40, but not all of them. Okay, you can't, and you don't have time. Unfortunately, you don't have time. And one of the passages will be more difficult. You don't know which one. Maybe it's the first one, second, or third. We don't know. Okay, but do not spend more than 20 minutes on one text. So how much time do you need for each question, you think? We have 60 minutes and 40 questions. You do the math. How much time do we need for each question? I'm not good at math. I'm asking you. I am sözelci. Yes? No answers? Okay. You need about 1.5 minutes. Around 1 minute, yes, because you also need time to check your answers. Yes. You also need time to scan. So around 1.5 minutes. If you're spending more than 1.5 minutes, it means you need to move on, okay? The purpose is to finish the test, our purpose, main purpose. So do not leave any answers blank, all right? Ceylan, why did you say 25 minutes for 3? Because only one text is a little bit more difficult. I recommend 20 minutes for each, but it's up to you, okay? You need practice. You need practice. For example, I'll give you an example. If you want to get 8 or 9, yes, you need to read 3 texts. I mean, you need to do 3 texts really, really well. But if you want to get 6, okay, maybe you can leave the difficult one to the end and do the other 2 more focused, And then for the difficult one, maybe you can make some guesses. You will see. It's up to you, okay? You need to practice, see yourself, and always time yourself. When you're practicing, don't give yourself unlimited time. You know what I mean? Time management is the most important thing in reading. And if you don't know the answer, okay, you're not sure, just put a mark on it. You can go back to it at the end. And in the worst case scenario, you still cannot guess and you don't have time, just take a guess. Okay? So Ceylan, this is not true because the third one maybe is easy. Maybe the first one is more difficult. Okay? So, following the instructions, checking your spelling, okay? When it's a note, it's a summary, yeah? You need to put words. Do not produce any new words for that, okay? Very important. For example, scientists are searching, blah, blah, blah. The answer is vocabulary in the text. Do not write words. Don't produce your own word. If it's summary, okay? Take it from the text. But if it is multiple choice, always paraphrasing, yes. If it is matching headings, find the main idea, and then you have your options, eliminate the options, yeah. For true, false, not given, always find evidence. Because in true, false, not given, this is not actually a question. This is about just to see if you can identify if the statement has the same meaning, yeah, as the sentence in the text. If it has the same meaning, true. If it has the opposite meaning, false. If it is not given, of course, you cannot find the answer. The trick here would be assumption, yeah? Don't make any assumptions. If it says, oh, she finished school successfully, and in the statement says she was very good at math. Don't assume that, you know, if she finished school successfully, she's good at math. Okay, don't assume anything. Always find evidence. Underline the evidence. Always have your pen, pencil, highlighting if it's computer delivered one. All right. And if it's completion type questions, always check how many words you need. 2 words, 3 words, okay? And singular, plural, make sure the sentence you produce is grammatically correct, okay? There is no extra time, unlike the listening. Don't spend too long on one passage. Don't read every word. Don't worry if the vocabulary is too difficult. Probably you don't need. Okay, just focus on your task, focus on your question. So you need to read a lot, yeah? You need to read scientific magazines. You can there are some applications like Bundle, you know. Keep reading, like every day, do some reading. Practice tests, of course, you need to work on. I mean, to be familiar with question types. And if you have a problem with true, false, not given, maybe you just focus on that. So you identify your own weaknesses through practice tests, okay? Maybe you have a problem with matching headings. Work on that. Any questions about reading? We save the best for last. No questions? Okay. So what do we have here for task 1? in the academic one, you describe a chart, okay? A diagram, maybe a process, maybe a map, okay? Sometimes double charts. Recently, it's very, very common, double charts, yeah? This is for the academic one. For the general training, you write a letter of complaint, letter of application, letter of anything, actually, even permission. Minimum 150 words you need to write. There will be penalty if you are underlength, okay? So around 200 words, I would say, is good. Don't write too many words, okay? I will explain why. Don't write too many words. And the recommended time for task 1 is 20 minutes. Altogether, you have 1 hour. Okay, so you manage your time. Which one is more important, do you think? Task 1 or task 2? You can write in the chat box. Of course, yes, Rabia is right. Task 2. Because task 2 contributes twice as much as task 1, score-wise, yeah? Like task 1 is 1 point, task 2 is 2 points. So a general mistake is that sometimes students struggle with the chart. They spend like half an hour on the first task, and then they only have half an hour to write a full-blown essay, which is impossible. Manage your time. Do not spend more than 20 minutes. If you want to get 8 or higher, I think 15 minutes in 15 minutes you can manage task 1. Okay? It includes everything, of course, like 2-3 minutes to analyze the task, to analyze the chart, and then the last 2 minutes to check, to go over what you've written. Yes? Manage your time really, really well. So if you're practicing, always time yourself. Always time. Never do independent writing. Task 2 is an essay. Minimum 250 words. There is no upper limit. Yeah, but you need to be careful. If you write too much, maybe you are losing coherence. Okay, so be careful. So 300 words is ideal, I think. And recommended time is 40 minutes. Like I said, time management is up to you. And you must answer both questions, of course. Okay. This is really, really important. Everyone, pay attention. A lot of people think, or this is how we are trained at school, that our grammar is the most important thing when you're writing. Yeah, because our teachers always check our grammar, and if you have good grammar, they give you a good score. Yeah, but in IELTS, as you see, grammar is just 25%. Can you see that? Grammar is only 25%. So if you didn't make any grammatical mistakes, you think, oh, I'll get a good score. It doesn't work that way, okay? A lot of students lose points because they don't pay attention to task achievement and cohesion, okay? 25, 25, 25, 25. So half of it, half of your score is understanding the task, okay? And make sure your answer is organized. So organization and understanding the task, 50%. Can you imagine? So you need to study paragraph. What is a paragraph? How can I form a good paragraph? What is a thesis statement? Yeah. Are my ideas linked? Am I using any cohesive devices? Yeah. In addition, furthermore, the main problem is that, okay, you need to connect your ideas and sentences. Very, very important. Okay. So task achievement is all about understanding the task. What are you supposed to do? Yes, you need to understand that. For cohesion, paragraphs are linked, ideas are linked, there's an organization, okay? For lexical resource, of course, we expect you to use good vocabulary, sufficient range of vocabulary, all right? Good words, less common words. For grammar, of course, good grammar, but there needs to be a range, okay? Range means complex structures. If you want to get 8 or 9, you need to work on advanced grammar, like how to combine sentences, especially relative clauses. Yeah, you need to learn how to use those in the best way. So as you see, we have this is a simple chart. I picked an easy one for you to make things clearer. Okay, so we have 20 minutes on this task. This is the introduction, right? Let me ask you, are you still here? Who's here? Raise your hand. Raise your hand if you're here. Just making sure. Good. Yes, yes. So my question for you is, can we copy this sentence? What do we need to do? This introduction, can we copy? No, never copy. So what do we need to do, Rabia? Paraphrase. Yes, we need to paraphrase. Very good. We need to change it. We can use a different grammar structure. If you want, you can turn it into a passive. You can change the words. For example, instead of show, what can you say instead of show? What can you say instead of show? Illustrate. Very good. Indicate. Very good. Imply. Good. Display. Represent. Compare. Right? Change. For different modes of transport, you can say maybe various means of transportation. For use to travel to and from work, you can use the word maybe commute. Yeah, commute is a good word. Of course, don't change the years. You cannot change the years. All right. So our first step is to paraphrase the question. Very easy. What does our task say? Because we need task achievement. We need task. What is the task? Let's find. Summarize. Summarize means, can we write everything? Can we write about all the movements on the chart? Of course not, because it says summarize. This is the task. Can you see? So if you explain everything, your task achievement score goes down, regardless of how perfect your grammar is. Okay, so summarize. And how do we summarize? We need to select and report the main features, not everything, okay? You can select 2-3 points, the most significant parts in the chart. And then the next part to our task is make comparisons. So if you list, for example, bus use, you make sentences listing that this happened in 1960. This is not the way to go. Okay, you need to compare bus and car, or you need to compare like the items. You need to compare. Okay, so work on your comparison. You can use while, whereas, similarly, in contrast, the highest, the lowest. Okay, work on how to compare information. So this is our task, yes? Very easy, very easy. We just select the most important parts and then we compare. But we also need an overview. What is the overview? Any ideas? Like a little summary, like one sentence we need, yeah? We don't need any data. Like, what is the first thing you notice when you look at this chart? Can you see any general trend, or can you see any stability or anomaly, maybe something unexpected? What is the overview in this chart? Any ideas? High points, low points, you need, especially for a line graph, you need, yeah, the peak and the bottom. If it's a pie chart, of course, you need to talk about the highest percentage and the lowest percentage. This could be your overview, yes. But don't give any data. No data, no numbers, okay? No numbers. So with this one, can you see a dramatic decrease? Can you see this? Isn't this dramatic? Like in 1960s, from 1960s until 2000, there was, right, a dramatic decrease in the number of people. This is also important. Is it number, percentage, amount? What is the unit of measurement you need to find? Here, the percentage, right? In the percentage of people who preferred to walk. Okay, this is the overview. No numbers. But later, of course, you give specific data. You can write in brackets also, possible. Like, for example, this is, I think, one of the main points, isn't it? Like the highest is a main point and the lowest. This is also a good example. We need to explain this, right? Maybe you can compare car and foot because one of them is rising, the other one is the other one has a downward trend. Okay, which tense do we need to use in this chart? Which tense? Past, yes. 1960, 1980, 2000. If it was 2030, of course, future, right? We can say it is estimated that, or it is projected that, or it will, probably, blah, blah, blah. Okay, what is the unit of measurement? Here we're dealing with percentages, okay? Be careful, sometimes there are numbers, but in brackets it says in millions. So if you say 200 man, wrong, 200 million, okay? Use accurate data, accurate. Okay, can we say, look at the bus in 1980. Can we say a quarter of passengers traveled by bus? A quarter. Would that be accurate? Look at this. Is this a quarter? No. Yes. Almost. So use approximations, nearly, almost, just over, just under, okay? You must. Otherwise, it would be inaccurate data. So let's talk about the common mistakes. Also, Okay, these are the things you need to do. Of course, read the question carefully. Spend like 2-3 minutes to assimilate the information on the graphic and look at the previous exams, previous sample answers, work on different types of charts, process, map, okay, because each one has a different style. Work on those, please. And when you're analyzing the task, like we did, yeah, underline important information. This is important. Planning, you can categorize the information according to years, maybe, like in this chart. This could be years. You can compare the years, yeah, or you can compare the mode of transport. Okay? Choose how you classify this information. There is no paragraphing necessary, by the way. Even one paragraph is okay. You don't need to worry. Paragraphing, no problem. But you start with introduction, like we did here, yeah, paraphrasing, and then overview. Overview is the summary, okay? And then details, details. Classify, compare, give accurate data, learn about the vocabulary, how to describe trends. You can find them on the internet very easily, like drop significantly, increased gradually, reach a peak. It's going to take you maybe 2-3 hours to learn. Here, we're not looking for fancy words, okay? We don't need fancy words, but for task 2, you need to show off, okay? Show off your English. For task 1, simple is enough, but don't repeat. Don't repeat the same, or don't say increase, increase, increase all the time, yeah? There are other words. So you need to provide an overview and keep your eye on the clock, 20 minutes. And checking grammar, spelling, and word count. So one mistake would be not comparing, yes, not providing relevant data, instead irrelevant, too much information. This is wrong, yes. Giving your opinion is wrong. Never give your opinion. Okay, never. Always paraphrase the question. And of course, use good vocabulary, use the latest vocabulary. For general training writing, you need to write a letter, okay? It's very basic, like you read, this is your task, yeah? Again, never copy the sentence. Use your imagination. And plan. For example, this is a letter to the public transport company. What kind of problem? Imagine the problem and then explain. So each of these points must be a paragraph, okay? They are each paragraphs. And then finally, you expect the company to deal with the problem. So the organization is within the task. You don't need to worry about organization. Of course, you start the letter by introducing yourself and the purpose. Why are you writing this letter? Like you can say, I'm writing to you to complain. You need to use the right register. Formal, informal. Like this one, what do you think? This one is a formal letter or an informal letter? Is this a formal letter or informal letter? Informal one, you write to your friend. But this guy is not your friend. He's the manager. So it needs to have a formal tone, a formal register. Dear sir, dear madam, okay? And when you're ending, yours sincerely, kind regards. But if you're writing to your friend, you can say, hi, John. Hello, John. Yeah. And when you're ending, you can say best wishes, love. So you need to understand formal, informal, and cover the points. Write at least 150 words. Easy, right? easier than academic. Okay, I'll let you read this part. Any questions about task 1, academic 1? Or am I too boring? No questions about task 1. You understood perfectly. Wow. So task 2, very important. Again, we never copy the question, never. And in writing task 2, we always have 2 parts to the question. Okay, one of them is factual, the other one is a question. Here, what is the fact? If I can underline, I cannot. So this first sentence, right, is the subject. This is the fact, okay? Countries are becoming more and more similar. This is not a question. This is not a question. This is a fact, okay? So in your introduction, you need to maybe paraphrase this and extend it. Yes, and avoiding cliches, of course. Like you say, thanks to globalization, right? This is all about globalization, isn't it? Change, instead of buy, you can use purchase, yeah? Like we have an access, right, to similar products all around the world, no matter where you are, regardless of where you live. We can reach the same products all around the world. So maybe 1, 2 introduction sentences, not too long, not too long, 1 or 2, okay. And then what is the question here? It's a question, but sometimes you don't see it so clearly, but here it's very clear in this task. It says, to what extent do you think this is a positive or negative development? So always ask yourself, why am I writing this? What is my purpose? Okay, your purpose is to convince the reader, okay, that you have a view, you have an opinion, and you are writing for the reader, to convince the reader, okay? Don't forget your purpose. So you need to plan. Planning is not a waste of time. 2-3 minutes at least, okay? At least 2-3 minutes. And you can use your paper for your planning. It's okay. When you're done, cross it out. Cross it. You don't even need to erase. Just cross it out, okay? So I'm thinking now, this is the process. Okay, there's globalism. Is this positive or negative? So I brainstorm and write down everything. Like, for example, you go to Starbucks, it's the same all over the world, yeah, and you feel maybe comfortable. So this could be a positive thing. But on the other hand, it is killing the local culture. This could be a negative one. Write everything, okay, when you're brainstorming. But later, decide which one is positive, which one do you, are you in favor of? Like, which side is more important for you, yes? There needs to be a clear progression. So your thesis statement should be consistent, yeah? Should be consistent with your body paragraphs. So you say one thing in thesis statement and then you change your mind, bad point. Stick to your idea. Very important for coherence. Coherence is 25%. Have an idea and in your body paragraphs support this. And don't forget, each paragraph has a central idea. For example, you can make yourself at home in Starbucks. Yeah. Give examples, give supporting evidence. Okay, supporting, like you have an idea and then the rest is all support. You need to support your idea. You don't need a lot of ideas. You don't need 2, 3 ideas. Okay, each idea is one paragraph, main sentence, and then support. Example, evidence, detail, finish. And then in the end, you have conclusion. Conclusion, you give a summary. Of course, not using, you don't use the same words. And look at the task. It says everything. Look, give reasons. Okay. Include any relevant examples. This is part of task achievement. If you don't give examples, your task achievement goes down. You understand? It's not about ideas. Ideas can be very simple. How you support it. And in the end, the reader says, wow, this person thinks about it. The reader is not confused. Shouldn't be confused. Like you say one thing and then, no. Stick to your idea and support. And in writing, it's very important. Just imagine it as making a hamburger. Yes, imagine a hamburger. You have 2 buns, yeah? The first bun, the top bun, is your introduction, isn't it? And the bottom bun is your conclusion. Inside, you have the meat patty, yeah? And in that meat, you put what? Spices. Those spices are good language use, yeah? Use cohesive devices. On the other hand, however, like you make it rich, or you put good ingredients, good words in it, and support it with lots of examples. So basically, when you start writing, it's about, introduction is about what you will say, yeah? In the middle, you say it, and at the end, what did you say? All right, organization is really, really important, please. And you write at least 250 words. Let me check the chat box. How many paragraphs? Good question. Intro, definitely. Conclusion, definitely. So we already have 2. And then 2, 3 body, because we need 2, 3 ideas at least. So I would say at least 4. At least 4. 5 is okay. 5 is good, actually. No. No. One idea is not enough, Ahmet. I'm sorry. Because one paragraph means one idea. Am I right? One idea is not enough. I'm sorry. Any other questions? Yes, do not repeat the same idea, because sometimes what happens is you think, I don't have any other ideas. So you keep talking about the same idea over and over. Yes, Ahmet. Each idea. One idea is one paragraph. So you don't need many ideas. You need examples. You need evidence, okay? For example, our idea is about advantages of working from home. Okay, so you might think you can save a lot of time. Okay, this is one paragraph. You talk about how you can save time. You can mention traffic. You can mention maybe cooking time. You can mention going for lunch, like many examples. And then the second idea would be you can schedule your own time. And then you can just talk about, like, you can take coffee break whenever you want. You can take lunch break whenever you want. You can make personal phone calls whenever you want. Okay? Like that. The purpose is to convince the reader. So when I read, I say, oh, working from home is great. So you have a thesis statement. Thesis statement is your answer to the question. Remember, I showed you the question. So you answer the question, and then the paragraphs support your answer. Be consistent. Do not add new ideas or do not contradict yourself. Organization, coherence, task achievement, 50%. Okay. Of course, the rest is grammar and vocabulary. That's the easy part. That's very easy, I think. Always plan. Don't think it's a waste of time. Have a main idea and then think of examples, then start writing. And always check your work for mistakes. 2-3 minutes, go over your mistakes. Okay. This is computer delivered IELTS. You can find information on takeielts.org. Okay. I don't think I need to go into detail. I will just show you one last thing. For test day do's and don'ts, again, you can find information on our website. Yes, no cheating. You can bring you don't even need to bring the test. They provide you with pencils, whatever. You can bring water, but transparent bottle. So there are some rules. Check the website. For preparation, you can take a screenshot of this. We have free courses. British Council provides free online courses. And you get, for example, Road to IELTS. It's perfect. You get a free version if you register with British Council. Okay, you get a free version, last minute version. But of course, if you want to study more comprehensively, you can buy the premium one. This Future Learn, also, you can do a trial period. There's a trial period for free. Also some applications. Just, I think you need to take a look at them. Again, takeielts.org under preparation. You can click on preparation. So that's about it. Any questions? If there are no questions, we can sign off. Thank you for taking the time. Thank you for your attendance, participation. I wish you all good luck and success. I hope you achieve the score you desire. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
John,
Thank you very much.
Do you have anything to share?
Thank you so much for your presentation and information. And we also wish you have a great year. Happy New Year.
Yes, Happy New Year, everyone. Yes. I hope 2022 is better than 2021.
Yeah, we hope to see
We'll
you.
see.
Yeah.
Keep your fingers crossed.
Yeah, we hope to see you face to face as well.
Yeah,
Fingers
why not?
crossed.
We should. So take care, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Evening.
Have a
Bye.
nice evening. Thank you.
Bye.